So Ryan, we've come to County Antrim here to see a shed.
Yeah.
A shed with a difference. If Carlsberg did sheds, they'd probably do something like this.
Yes, hopefully, yeah.
And you and your business there in Greenhill Systems had a big part to play in this.
Yes.
Especially when it came to the roof. Could you describe maybe first how many cubicles are here and what we're looking at overhead?
I think the new shed here is 400 cubicle house. Overhead they've put on a Heatguard 50 roof sheet. Polycarbonate sheet. It comes in 3 different grades, 25, 50 and 100. The difference in the 3 sheets are the amount of aluminium pigment. If you think of a clear polycarbonate sheet, it's a triple wall structure. The 25 has the least amount of aluminium in it. It would let through the most light but also the most heat. They add more aluminium to create the 50. It would let through less light but also less heat. And in the 100 there's more aluminium again. It just works the same way. It would let through less light and less heat again. Typically for cows that are housed all year round, they would use the Heatguard 50. It's more than enough for this country and probably UK and Ireland to keep out enough heat during the summer months. The cows would still be cool, reduces heat stress. It seems to work the best for over here, like.
Okay. Just looking overhead, weight-wise, I see timber purlines.
Yeah.
Do you need timber or do you steel, or have you a preference for?
You can use timber or steel. The only difference is for timber purlines, the fixings would be half the price probably of the stainless steel fixings for steel purlines. The weight of the sheet is 2 kilograms per square metre, as opposed to around 15-16 kilograms for fibre cement. So it's 8 times lighter. This roof here should have had around 72 tonne of fibre cement on it. There's just under 9 tonne of polycarbonate Heatguard sheet on it, so it's a fair difference in weight for the whole building.
Okay, and say price-wise, when you mentioned fibre cement, how does it compare, comparatively speaking?
At the minute, we're quite competitive with the price of fibre cement and tin. Seem to be pretty close to anything else that's on the market.
Okay, and would people space sheet with it, like with tin or not, or
no? It would to give it structural support on each side of the sheet. It has to overlap. If it was to be spaced out, it would the sides of the sheet would be too weak to. It needs the sheet and the overlap to hold itself up properly.
Okay. So there's some conventional sheds over there with a conventional roof, and we have the new roof here. Is there a preference for cows to be in this type of environment, you think, or is there any noticeable difference?
George and Robin would say that the cows would head in here. They would prefer in here rather than the older shed with a conventional roof on it. Temperature-wise, we measured it at the time shortly after installation. The older shed next door was 25.2 degrees. It was June time 2 years ago, 25.2 degrees. When in here was 18.9 degrees. So there's a 6-degree difference. It would make a fair difference in the hotter weather. At the same time, we measured the light with a lux meter. The shed next door with fibre cement and skylights was measuring 83 lux average at cow's eye level, whereas in here was reading 283 lux at cow's eye level. So it's well over the 200 lux they talk about for increased fertilities and increased feed intake and higher milk production rates.
Okay. So Ryan, what markets are you covering? Is it the UK and Ireland?
We cover UK and Ireland. We have sold a lot of sheeting around ourselves here. It's starting to go well in the southwest of Ireland. Southwest Scotland seems to be a hot spot for it now too. Anywhere it goes on, it seems to spread around that area. If a farmer would get it on around a certain area, you'd usually find that there would be farmers around him then would go for it then. Yeah.
And say production-wise then, where are you importing it, or is it made locally? Or
it's made locally at Brett Martin, which is about 5 miles away from here. They developed it for a company in mainland Europe 18 years ago, and have been selling it into the continent that whole time. So that's the oldest sheet with heat guard with the aluminium pigment in it. It's just nobody was really pushing it over here until we started 3 years ago.
Okay. The installation process then, is it much different to conventional tin or fibre cement?
Not really. There would just be slightly more fixings in it, whereas a sheet of fibre cement would have 2 fixings per purline. This one here, around the circumference of the roof, they would need a fixing on every corrugation, and on the rest of the purlines in the middle of the roof, it would be every other corrugation. So there would be a bit more fixings in it. We recommend stainless steel. You have no hassle with them down the line then, with the tops rotting off them.
Okay. In terms of it greening then, or with moss or anything, how liable is it to that? Or
because it has a deadly smooth surface on the outside, the rain would go a long way in keeping it clean. We get plenty of rain here, so it keeps it clean itself. The moss or anything wouldn't stick to it the same as it would with like a GRP roof light or a Perspex roof light. It wouldn't stick to it the way it would with fibre cement or anything like that either.
okay, in terms of lifetime guarantee or its lifespan, what would it be like?
Life expectancy would be 25-year plus. The actual structured sheet itself, without the aluminium heat guard element of it, has been about for almost 30 years, so that's why they give it a 25-year plus life expectancy.
Okay. So I suppose to finish, you have a couple of samples over here on the ground that we'll have a look at.
Yeah.
You can show us close up.
It's just the difference in them, yeah.
So Ryan, could you explain, say, the first sheet on the left here?
The first sheet on the left here is the new profile, which would match in with the UK Ireland profile fibre cement. It's only available from now. It's a sharper corrugation than the European profile, which has only been available up until now. As you can see, it's a triple wall structure. Because of the triple wall structure, in the cold air outside in the winter, the hot air underneath from the cattle means that the sheet doesn't condensate and drip, because you've got your air pocket in the middle between the skins. Whenever the sheet is cut in the factory to suit your purlin spaces, it comes crimped and heat sealed at each end, so it closes the sheet off to bugs or anything getting up in the inside of the sheet or water coming down in through it. So this one here is the Heat Guard 25. We would recommend this here for like machinery sheds, general purpose sheds, or sheds that were had only livestock in the winter. And then this is Heat Guard 50. That's the one with slightly more aluminium pigment in it. That's what George and Robin has fitted here. It would keep out more heat in the summer, but still let through quite a lot of light in the summer. It just keeps the cows a bit cooler in the summertime. Very good.
So in terms of contact details, have you your website for people?
Yeah, it's www.greenhealthsystems.co.uk. There's specs and that on the website, contact details and stuff like that there. So it's getting very popular there at the minute. Just
so if people want to price something, they just need to know the dimensions of their shed, is it?
Yes, just the dimensions of the shed, roof pitch, what the shed's used for, and what kind of purlins they're having fitted.
Okay, very good. No, thanks for your time there today, Ryan.
No problem. Thank you very much.